Good morning, Alberta. I'm John Ashton, and this is, of course, Good Morning Alberta, the daily magazine show for Alberta's NDP. I'm with I've got a guest here today, Adrienne King, and we'll be meeting Adrienne in a little bit. First of all, I want to say we have had a great 36 hours here on the Alberta NDP campaign. Friday night, we had a marvelous pub event with you and probably close to 150 Albertans who came out for that. Thank you very much for helping us toast our province and the first week of a great campaign. Yesterday, a big crowd of you came out to meet Brian Mason at the Farmers Market along with Rachel Notley, and thank you once again for that. That was a great event. And Brian visited not one, not two, but 3 campaign office openings, and that was a lot of fun. And somebody who was with Brian with all that is Adrienne King.
Hello.
So, Adrienne, what do you do on the campaign?
Well, I'm the minivan driver for our environmentally friendly Leaders Tour bus, and also just helping out where I can to keep everything moving along smoothly and happily.
So you drive Brian around?
Yes.
Which is ironic, because of course he was a bus driver. He used to drive other people around.
Yes.
That's the difference between being a leader and a bus driver.
So there's some tension there occasionally, but Brian knows the best routes.
Okay. Because we will have practice, right?
Yeah, he's practiced.
All right. So, Adrienne, what part of Alberta are you from?
I'm from Sherwood Park, Alberta, a suburb outside of Edmonton.
Okay. So what's the best part of Sherwood Park?
That's a tough question to answer.
There's so much good about it?
So much to say about Sherwood Park.
All right.
I would say my favorite thing about Sherwood Park is that I never really had to meet anyone who was very different than me until I was in university. I think that was a great thing.
That's a strange thing to say. That's good about it, but you know what? I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
That was sarcasm, by the way, Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I was a lucky nerd all the way through school in Sherwood Park because I had lots of other great nerds alongside me. There's a homogenous nerd population in Sherwood Park. Great nerd population.
If you check the Statistics Canada demographics, you'll notice that the nerd curve in Sherwood Park is. And having said that, it sounds like I'm from Sherwood Park now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
John's an honorary Sherwood Parkie, and we've given him an honorary Sherwood Park doctorate.
And thank you for that. That was a lovely ceremony. Okay, so one of the nerdy things you studied, of course, is you studied literature.
Yes.
You left Alberta. Apparently
did.
Alberta schools weren't good enough for her. And went to McGill to study Canadian literature? Or?
Yes, Canadian.
Okay. All right. So I imagine there's some good Alberta writers. What's your favorite Alberta writer?
Well, to the initiated in Alberta Lit, this might be a bit of a cliche, but my favorite Alberta writer is Robert Crouch. The man often credited with launching postmodernism in Canada, and the writer of a number of fantastic long poems, including a poem called Seed Catalogue. So Robert Crouch is a nerdy guy from rural Alberta, and he became a really fantastic poet.
And wrote long poems about seed catalogs.
Yes, and ledgers.
And ledgers.
Yeah, and he also actually wrote a novel about an election campaign.
Really?
Yes.
Like ours?
Somewhat like ours, but the candidate in the campaign who is the protagonist of the novel promises in the midst of a drought that if he is elected, he will make it rain. So that's a cliffhanger for you all, Robert Crouch.
Pick that up.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, see if they've got the seed catalog poem.
Yes, good for some nerds.
Okay. That was riveting. Thank you very much for that, Adrienne King. You can, if you go to a Brian Mason event, you will see her there because she's the one who brought everybody there. Be sure to say hi, and you talk up Alberta books, and so much more with her. And so I'm just going to tell you about a couple of events that's happening today. It's Sunday, but that does not mean we are at rest here in Alberta's NDP, although we are sleeping in. But after we're done that, Brian Mason will be canvassing with Cindy Olsen in Northeast Edmonton and Edmonton Manning. So if you're in Northeast Edmonton, you just might see Brian Mason on your doorstep. And in Lethbridge, Shannon Phillips is also having a big canvas blitz today. Check out albertandp.ca if you want to get details on joining her if you're in the Lethbridge area. And once again, for Twitter accounts, you can follow Alberta's NDP at Alberta NDP. At Alberta NDP. You can follow Brian Mason at B Mason NDP. Can people follow you on Twitter?
No, nerdy technophobe.
There aren't many novels about Twitter, is there?
No.
Douglas Copeland, you get on that.
Yeah.
And finally, if you want, you can follow me on Twitter at johnalanashton. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you Monday.